Well, hello there, and it's another incredibly early morning, and I'll start off by saying these words. I free myself to love you as you are. So this is a thought format I've been working with, comes from the Aura Soma Tarot deck. It's been applicable to the 10 days up until today, when things shift to another one. I free myself to love you as you are. So, waking up, lying in bed, not wanting to get up, and the thoughts arrive as they do for all of us, and just being with them, the start of another day. So what came to me is this: everyone needs to be loved. Everyone needs to be understood. Aren't these such valuable, simple statements that we can all agree with? I like finding things we can all agree with. Everyone needs to be loved. Everyone needs to be understood. So starting with this, I want to share a little bit about where it's taken me. So making the film that I made, my personal update, it was a painful film to make. It was not painful at all to make it before or during, but afterwards I did feel really exposed. It's the whole point, isn't it, really? So this has brought up for me a really big subject. To what extent can we really be honest and really show ourselves as people? To what extent can we show ourselves completely uncensored? So there's something that I do as a habit, it's one of my habits, and I haven't been doing it for a while. And this habit is to have a smoke when I feel strong inclination. And for me, that's not to smoke in the morning, usually not to smoke in the afternoon, but at some point late afternoon, early evening, have a smoke, and then have a few smokes. And that's something that is a habit. So when I don't do this, I have frequent periods when I don't do this. I'm really going for it at the moment. And I find myself in a variety of situations where feeling really triggered is much more likely to cause me to want to do so, and I just have not done so. I've just been staying with it. And before I made this film, I started with the Ganesh mantra for the removal of all obstacles. On day 300 and something rather now, I forget how many, not a single day's break. One of 4 mantras I do now. It's a great practice, I find. In Toltec shamanism, we would call this, in a sense, not doing. It's doing something which doesn't relate to one's survival or normal things that one does in order to be a human being. It's something extra, something entirely disposable, and I'm choosing to exercise mind-bending intent and just keep on, and see where it's taking me so I can experiment. It's an adventure in many ways for me. My mantra practice is really one of the ultimate adventures I'm engaged in at the moment. There's a point I'm wanting to make. I find it's easier for other people to be around me when I smoke. And I find it's more challenging for other people to be around me when I don't. Because when I don't, I'm more raw, I'm more open, more likely to say things. And here's the thing: to what extent can we be truly honest without upsetting other people? And which is more important, to not upset other people or to be truly honest? These are the kind of things I'm exploring. So what caused me to literally leap out of bed this morning, I was thinking about a friend who'd sent me a link to some information which I'd come across and been practicing more than 20 years ago. And then last year it came out very big because the person I've been living with for a number of years rediscovered it too, and it's non-violent communication. And the man for non-violent communication, YouTube, Marshall-Rosenberg, Bing, you'll find him. He's so available. Wonderful guy. And he's literally resolved conflicts between Jews and Arabs, between warring tribes of Africans. In other words, really tough challenges. And I've condensed everything that Marshall-Rosenberg says to bring it down into simply one sentence. And the one sentence is this: what do you need now? Now these are words of extraordinary power, totally appropriate, because we've just shifted from the tarot wheel of the year out of the works card into the power card, the 4 of discs, out of the 3 of discs into the 4 of discs. Very practical, very earthy, very grounded. That's what's happening. So this is a really powerful statement. What do you need now? Because if you ask someone what they need without putting the word now on the end, they might talk about things from the past, and that's not where the power is. The power is always in the now. The now is our pivot point. That's our leverage into transformation. So I've got someone coming for the advanced course tomorrow, which is very exciting. First person to tread this journey with me. I've done the journey of the shamanic practitioner training with many people, but this is the first person that's been ready and committed and continued to be committed on the advanced course. So we're going to be exploring all sorts of things that I've not been able to explore on the shamanic practitioners, because there's only so much time, isn't there, to do anything. So what do you need now is a really powerful thing to say. So what I feel I need now is to be able to speak to you and share with you. But as I've done before, and I feel, well, you know the way it is, shamanic practitioner guidance is always a guidance, is always doing as you're told. So that was my cue to shift over to here and to really give the focus to that fire. So wonderful energy of the fire. There we are. Let's just see if we can get it more centered. Yes, we can. That's it. I'm happy with that. So that's it. What do you need now? Because I feel honesty is so important. The more honest we can be with ourselves, the more we can really make progress in life. Which is why I made that film a few mornings ago. Episode 1091, my personal update. I felt like just get it out there. So what I'm explaining is one of my dilemmas. So what I need now is understanding about something. What I need now is to work out whether or not it's better when I'm working one-to-one on retreats with people, the way I've always done it, which is to always have the spirits, the plants, through the smoke, to assist the process, which is yet another dilemma, because shamans can be divided into 2 groups, generally speaking. There's the shamans that don't use plant medicines. They use the drum, they use the active imagination, they use the trance induction, they use the declaration of intent. They don't use plants. And there's a bit of a judgment, and the judgment is plants are wrong. That's what that kind of shaman tends to feel. You don't need plants, just do it with a drum, do it with the traditional stuff. A tradition. And then there's the other school of shamanic practice, which is, no, that's all completely wrong. I especially think of Ross Heaven in this regard. He was very outspoken about this. As far as he is concerned, if it's shamanism, it's plants. The plants are there first, last and foremost. Always with the plants, always with the plants. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Now, because of my particularly childhood experiences and having had boundaries stripped away from me in such an unceremonious manner, this gives me a load of disadvantages in life, and it gives me some advantages too. So the advantage I feel I have is I can completely empathise with both points of view, and I actually simultaneously inhabit both points of view. I can really understand not working with plants. I can really understand working with plants. I like both. But one of the things I'm looking at, pause to put a log on the fire, the fire spirits. Remember what I said in number 1091, episode 1091, I said, the fire is a spirit. The fire is a wonderful spirit for releasing, for cleansing, for letting go. Which is why the indigenous people in Papua New Guinea have this very simple farming technique called slash and burn. They burn a section of the forest and then they plant. Burning is a way to release, a way to cleanse, a way to create space. So I'm really appreciating the fire here. So I'm sharing with you this dilemma I've got, because when I work with the plants, I'm much easier for other people to handle. I'm much more likely to have my rough edges smoothed off. Much easier, much more diplomatic, much more tactful. And when I don't, and I haven't for a while, I'm really a bit in your face. I remember a beautiful woman saying to me, wonderful married woman, her husband's a guy who I trained to be a shamanic practitioner, and I trained him to be a retreat host. And she looked into my eyes and she said to me, "You're direct, aren't you?" Well, yeah, it is one of my qualities. Mars in the first house, male energy, house of identity, tends to make me a bit direct, but all that gets smoothed off when I'm working with the smoking and the plant spirits there. So it's my dilemma. Do I show people the completely unvarnished me, or do I make myself a little bit more palatable? And so I've always chosen to go for the let's make myself more palatable route. And with you, I've been really doing both. You've had the more palatable me, now you're getting the unvarnished me. And it is ever so interesting, and I'm so grateful for the people that do comment. Thank you so much if you comment. And thank you even so much more if you actually comment on the channel, because a lot of people choose to comment privately to me. I think that's so amusing. Why don't you just put yourself up there on the channel in the comments? Why not? Go on. Live a little. You'll survive. Be all right. So yeah, it really is a dilemma. And so, and this is something else I've noticed, a lot of people on YouTube, it's always about their opinion. And there are some people, and when I watch them, I gradually get more and more put off if it's always, this is it, just believe what I say. And it's like, I really don't like being like that. So this really is far more questions than anything else, because I don't know. I don't know whether it's better for me when I'm in relationship with people one-to-one and in retreat group settings. Is it better to have worked with the plants first, just smooth off those rough, sharp edges, or whether it's better just to be completely who I am? But then here's the next thing. Who's to say one is more appropriate than the other? And who's to say which is the more unvarnished? Who's to say which is which? Ultimately, I don't know. So something that I have had such benefit from around about the time between the winter solstice and the New Year is a great time for divination. And I did some divination with a variety of tools, and there's one particular one I use when I feel like, yeah, it's serious. It's a Ling Chi Ching. And these readings that I was getting from Ling Chi Ching were, you're going in the wrong direction, dude. The way you're headed is not going to be helpful for you or others, actually. You need to change your direction. And so grateful for that. I find it so useful to have divination as something in my toolkit, because it gives me something outside of myself. It's a tool. It's a map of the universe. It's a map of the bigger picture. And I was too attached to my opinions. I was too attached to my intention of wanting to make this happen and wanting to make that happen. I've stepped right back, and I spent a little bit of time in the in-between state. And then what happened is I was invited to do something. So We all work in different ways. One of the most important things you can do in your life is to know yourself. And that's why I find divination useful and astrology particularly useful. Human design also very useful. It's a very specialised variant of astrology. And this thing which I've come across, the gene keys, I made a few films about the gene keys, phenomenally useful. These are all such useful practices because, let's face it, this person who's speaking to you is operating from the head, the heart and the gut. These are our three centres. And the mind is capable of playing tricks and games. The heart is our centre, and the gut is what connects us to the earth, to the Gaia, to our source of nourishment. So these are our three centres, head, heart and gut. And it's wonderful when they're all in alignment with each other. So I'm a person in human design which is called the generator. And I tend to work best if I'm invited to do things. And when I want to initiate things, I don't quite have, according to human design, I don't quite have what it takes. It doesn't work quite so well. So better for me to wait to be invited. So I was invited to do something and I'm doing it. It's great. So looking forward to the retreat at the end of February. Really looking forward to this retreat. It's going to be amazing. Lots of people showed interest. And then I get to this really exciting and interesting and slightly wobbly part of the whole thing, which is, yeah, all this interest has been shown. Now I wait for the deposits to roll in. When the deposits roll in, then it's happening. And before the deposits roll in, it's just someone's idea or some people's ideas. That's a really interesting place to be. That's what we call a liminal space, a space of edges. The edge between it's happening and it's not happening. The edge between, do I smoke or do I not smoke? The edge between, do I choose this, do I choose that? Which is what life is all about all the time. We're always faced with choices, aren't we? Do I put another log on the fire? Do I let it go out? At the end of this film, do I get in the bath? Do I go back to bed? Or do I go on about my day? Choices, choices, choices. It's what it is to be human, isn't it? So, yeah, I wonder if there's anything else left to say. I want to go back to Marshall-Rosenberg and my distillation, his entire practice. What do you need now? I'm bringing myself back to this. So what I need now is I need to be understood. And what I need now is to take risks. I need to take the risks that what will happen is that some people who watch this will comment and be really interesting, helpful, useful, whatever. And maybe some comments will be really hostile, and that's something to deal with too. And then the comment that's in a way the hardest to deal with is no answer at all. And have I upset the person? What is going on? You know what it's like. And I'm also just turned in very briefly to Harry and Meghan. God, Harry and Meghan, there is two people that really need a lot of attention at the moment. So is this what I'm doing? Am I simply another person that needs a lot of attention? Here I am speaking to you in the night, in the early morning. Yeah, how do you relate to all these things? I like the fact that I don't have any answers for you, so I'm really happy about that. Sometimes it's really helpful just to kind of explore things open-ended. But what I do feel is this statement, I free myself to love you as you are. That's a really powerful thought form to work with. And to ask a person, what do you need now? And I will just elaborate slightly what Marshall would say is this. If the person starts answering you about, well, when this thing happened last week or when that happened 25 years ago, what I needed you to do is stop, pause, hold it. That's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, what do you need now? That's the important question. What I need now is to be understood. What I need now is to be loved. What I need now is to be accepted. I'm going into this fundamental universal agreement. I feel that I'm making the postulation that these are what we all need. We all need to be loved. We all need to be understood. We all need to be accepted for who we are. in the moment. And when we have this extraordinary thing happen to us, we find ourselves in the presence of one person or more where we really feel that's happening. We can express our doubts, our confusions, our worries, oh, for goodness sakes, what the bleep. It's wonderful, isn't it? So what I wish for you this year, this is coming to somewhere, I didn't know it was even going to go anywhere, this film. The place it's coming to is this, and I've always got tears in my eyes, I say this. What I wish for you this year, 2023, I wish that you have encounters with people where you have some kind of a connection, which may involve words or may not. One of the things I love to do is ecstatic dancing, Glastonbury, in Pendragon hours, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's 2 hours of being with people with wonderful music and dancing and no words. No words is so cool. Try it. Try it. Give it a go. Be with people in silence. That's a little digression. I know I'm full of them. Back to the main point. What I wish for you is I wish for you encounters where you feel with people, preferably face to face, preferably in the same room, not thousands of miles away, in the same space. Let's go for it, even though it's outdoors. And you share, whether it's with words or without, and you feel understood, you feel appreciated, and you feel loved. And that this other person that's with you, they also feel understood, appreciated, and loved. And I'm going to go for an even bigger wish for you. I wish for you that you find yourself, as I do in the men's circle, and on the retreats, every retreat it's the same, we always get to every single retreat, we get to this place. It's really the place of love. It's when the space of love opens up. When you're part of a group and you can say, we feel understood, we feel appreciated, we feel loved. This is my wish for you for 2023. May this happen to you, and may this happen to you over and over and over again, and may you feel more and more free to be who you are, because ultimately we set ourselves free to be able to love each other as we are. Indeed it is so. So much love to you.